So we're going to use a formula that shows compound interest to figure out how much money she's going to earn. Well, we need to figure out what all of these variables represent. So what does the A stand for in this formula? Future value. You're probably wondering why it's an A. Okay, maybe we can say this is how much she'll have in her account, what her account will hold, right? It's her account. What does the P represent? P represents how much money she's investing, which is also referred to as you're going to see this word a lot when you're working with investment, the principal amount. Principal amount. What does that mean? It's the amount of invested. So this is kind of like your starting amount, right? Amount invested. So what you're going to start with. How much money are you going to invest in this account? Okay, this is a 1. 1 plus, what does I stand for? I stands for the interest rate, okay, because every bank might have a different rate. One bank might give her 2%. One bank might give her 3%, okay? We have to look at the rate. When you're using this formula, though, it's important that you express the rate as a decimal, okay? Must be expressed as a decimal. How do you turn a percent into a decimal, okay? Because the rate is a percentage, right? How do we turn that into a decimal? Divide by 100, good. So this is important. You guys have to remember to do this when you're plugging it into the formula. And then finally, what does N stand for? Number of years. Okay, if she's only investing it for 6 months, how would you express that as a year? What would 6 months be in years? 0.5, good. Because there's 12 months in a year, 6 out of 12, it's half a year, right? 0.5. Okay, so in this problem, we have to figure out what each of our variables represent, what information we're given, okay, and what we have to find. We know that her principal amount is $3,000 because that's what she's starting with. That's her investment. Yep. N equals 4. She's investing it for 4 years. Good. We know the rate is 3.5%, but like we said before, we have to express that as a decimal. So it's going to be 0.035 when we plug it into the formula. Do we know how much is in her account in the end after she invests? No, this is what we need to find, right? We want to know how much money will she have in her account after this investment. After 4 years, what will her account grow to? Equals, we're just going to plug in the values, 3,000, bracket 1 plus 0.035 to the power of 4. Yep. Okay, so when you simplify it, $3,442.57. You got to round it to the nearest penny. Okay, who else got this as their final answer? Good. Well, if she started with $3,000 initially, that was her principal amount, how much money did she make over 4 years? Right, she made $442.57 just from having her money sit in that account for 4 years. She made that much money off of it.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.